broadcasting. Red Eye Radio. It'll keep you up all night.
Now, one of the most inspiring stories, I reckon, in Australian music is that of Pete Murray not picking up a guitar until he was like 23 or 24 years of age. It's an amazing story. So it was awesome to sit down with him and record a quick chat, and I aired this on the Red Eye, and here it is on MySpace and YouTube. A quick chat with Pete Murray.
How you doing, man?
I'm good, mate. Yourself?
I'm pretty good. Mate, I love stories, and I love when stories lead to dreams, so I'd like to ask you, do you reckon you live in your dream?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's what I chose to do at a certain time in my life, you know, in my late 20s, early 30s, to take on music as a full-time job was really probably a silly thing to do, you know, and I started to think it was pretty silly for a while there, but, you know, something just kept me going, and the belief that, you know, it could be successful, and you know, here we are today. So I think it's all part of taking risks in life, you know, and you don't know if it's going to work, but you got to have a go at it.
Was there times, can you remember a specific time when you almost thought, you know what, I'm going to maybe give in on this?
Yeah, I think it was about just before I actually got signed to the record company. I was independent. I was down in Melbourne. I'd moved from Brisbane, away from family and friends, spent 12 months down in Melbourne. You know, I could hardly buy myself lunch. And I started to check out in the College of Natural Medicine up in Brisbane, right, where I had studied before, and I was going to go back and finish the course. Started ringing up a few friends, just saying, "Have you got some part-time work that I can come and do?" You know, I'm really starting to think about coming home, and I thought to myself, before I do that, I'm going to last this year out. I'm going to see what happens till the end of the year. And it was not long after that I got a call from the record company that they'd heard or seen a review somewhere. I wanted to hear the album, and it just went from there.
So does it feel like, you know, when you have a moment when you've been through those times and they're pretty close to your mind, you know, you can talk about them so fresh, but like when you hear a song on the radio and you know it's going out to a major market, that must just be unbelievable feeling for you.
Yeah.
Can you remember the first time when you heard a Pete Murray song, you thought, oh my God, like the whole city's listening to this?
Yeah, I do actually. It was quite bizarre. I was actually in the car, and the song came on, and it's weird. You're not sort of realising that it's your song on there, and then that thought of, geez, how many people listen to this right now? Are they liking it? Are they not liking it? You know, and then all these thoughts, these insecurities probably start crossing your mind, you know, and that's just something that you have to just deal with.
It must be awesome feeling though, just like a good feeling too.
Well, it's something that you've worked hard for, I think, you know, and spending so many years to get to that point, and to see it actually coming off, and it's pretty rewarding.
Now, you spoke about this, I'm sure, a lot of times, man, but your first gig, the story about you not wanting to do it, I mean, that must have been an amazing night for you.
Oh, I was pretty nervous the first time you're playing your own songs to a group of people, you know. Driving in there, I actually turned the car around and started driving home. I was just too nervous, and then I had to do it, because I had to start somewhere. And, you know, I mean, any job anyone does the first time, you've got to start somewhere, and that's always can be a pretty nervous day for people, but something that I just had to do. And, you know, I played about 7 songs to maybe 30, 40 people there, and it's terrifying. You know, it's just shitting myself. And so, you know, it's just really a big step to do that, and then to finish it was just so exciting. You know, it was like and rewarding, and people sort of saying, "Hey, that was great." You know, a bit of confidence there. It was good.
Do you look back on that night? Where was it, by the way? Where was that gig? Do you remember?
Yeah, that was at the Orient Hotel in Brisbane.
And how far away were you turn around?
Oh, it was about halfway.
And how far did you drive home before you came back? Did you get home?
I went about a quarter of the way home, and I turned around and came back.
Right, that's awesome. Yeah. Hey, when you look back at what you've done now with your career and where it's gone, I mean, that was a defining moment, because if you didn't go back to that gig, who knows, you could be studying medicine somewhere, right?
Well, yeah, I probably would have seen myself working, you know, either in a health clinic somewhere, and I, you know, probably would have tried to get involved in either sports training as well, or getting, you know, being involved in sports somehow, because that's what my sort of field was, I guess. And
right.
So yeah, to have this lifestyle now is just it's fantastic. You know, it's a dream, and something that, like I said, you work so hard for it, and that's the important thing for me. Is just lifestyle. It's never been about money or anything like that. It's just about lifestyle and you know, being happy with your life.
And all the things you've learnt in the journey so far that I'm sure you can put into your music. What advice would you have for young people out there, even if it's not musically based, you know, just life things that you've gone through? What advice would you have for young attackers?
Life? Look, it's just important to be happy with what you're doing, and you know, whatever that is, you've got to, I think, have a plan a few things out, have a few goals to try and achieve along the way. And, you know, for me also, you know, I had a few goals that I wanted to achieve, but I also had a point where I was going to draw the line and I was going to go, okay, this is not going to work, and I'll have to reevaluate things. And that's where I think you need to know when to stop, and you need to know which direction you want to go, and keep motivating yourself to get these new goals and be happy with what you're doing.
Yeah, man, we'll keep rocking. Thanks for that.
Thanks, mate.
Cool. There he is, Pete Murray. He's a really cool dude, isn't he? Got some great songs there, and he's living the dream. This is his latest song. It's called Class A on the Red Eye.